Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show, where we like to leave the mute button on and not notice it. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm just making a bunch of little mistakes this morning. At least I caught it within the first minute. I would say normally that I'm making sense out of the senseless, but I kind of screwed the pooch on that one. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. Today is Monday, October 24th. It was actually a nice weekend. Then I realized, oh boy, we gotta do this again. It's amazing, amazing stupidity that we have in our politicians. It really is. It's amazing. Our government is out of control. Our government is corrupt. It's we got politicians that are trying to protect they got, I think it's an ABC poll that Clinton holds a 12-point lead over Trump, but the one thing they don't look at is the heavily skewed data to the Democrats on that. I can't believe it. But what really pisses me off is at least Fox used to, hey, Cal. Fox used to at least debunk this kind of stuff. Now they're promoting this kind of shenanigans. I'm embarrassed. I am absolutely embarrassed. And I feel, I'm going to back it up also a little bit because I feel bad because I was supposed to have Kel on the show today. But Friday, I had a chance to possibly get press credentials for the Trump rally today in Tampa. So I had to, unfortunately, push off push back Kel till tomorrow, which I really didn't want to do, and I apologize, Kel. But I also know you understand why I had to do it, and I really appreciate and love you for that. Ends up, well, the press passes fell through. I had gotten them once before, and I guess my show isn't big enough for them. I understand they got very limited space, and they got to well, it's kind of conflicting on that because, okay, I understand they have to have the national and all these big name shows, but those are the ones that have been attacking him, and it's shows like mine that led the charge of promoting him and believing in him. So, I don't know. That's kind of 50-50 on it, but c'est la vie. That's the way it goes. So how we're going to start the show is this Democratic representative she's the gift that keeps on giving. Democrat Representative Jackson Lee. Sheila Jackson Lee. Well, I'm going to play a clip and just let you judge for yourself right off the bat. And then we're going to talk about a lot of her work.
The progressive wing of the party, Congresswoman.
Well, good morning. I'm happy this morning because Hillary is surging in the polls, I believe, and more independents are looking at what their choices are, and we're moving toward, I hope, a strong turnout in November. Let me just say that much of what went on was what I call campaign chatter. You know that I'm going to, first of all, denounce.
Wait a minute. Campaign chatter. So campaign chatter has to deal with disenfranchising voters, which the Democrats are always screaming that the Republicans are the one trying to stop people from voting, as they're actually doing it. Between the WikiLeaks and the videos, we're finding out the illegal activities that the Democrat Party has been doing. From voter intimidation to staging riots. But that's just campaign chatter.
The utilization of this intrusion by Wikipedia through the Russian intrusion. This is what this is about. Espionage, just like was said over these last couple of days. We need to be concerned about the intrusion of Russia and Putin in these elections. And as it relates to the progressives, we know that our task is to do what is best for the American people.
Okay, first off, there is no definitive proof. They think, the 17 agencies, intelligent agencies, think it is Russia. The Democrats are running with that and saying it's Russia to deflect from the damning emails. So they get to say campaign chatter when they are making racist comments. They get to say campaign chatter when they are talking about, well, bribery. Basically, pay to play is a nice way of saying bribery. And the list goes on and on and on. So that's campaign chatter. But a guy talking to another guy and going on about conquest of the opposite sex, that's not locker room chat. Let's see. Now let's get to the real point at hand with Miss Jackson Lee. Wikipedia and Russia. And that's what she said. Wikipedia. And that's why I played that multiple times. And it's, I'm going to first of all denounce the utilization of this intrusion by Wikipedia through Russian intrusion. Well, first off, realistically, you are public employees. You are representative of the people. You ran on a platform of transparency, and you're pissed because your emails haven't exposed. The transparency has come about in your party, finally. And you're pissed about the transparency of your party, even though it was forced upon you. So now you're going to try to piss off Russia by playing Jan Brady and Russia, 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 Russia. I know it's only 3 Russia's supposed to be. But. And then you want to blame it on Wikipedia. You know, if it was anybody else, I might let that slide, because I understand Wikipedia, WikiLeaks. My dad even made the same mistake. But this is not the first time for this politician. We're going to go through a little list. And she has a habit of also rewriting history. And first, she, quote, in July 30th of 2014, a historical fact. President Bush pushed this nation into war that had little to do with apprehending terrorists. We did not seek an impeachment of President Bush because as an executive, he had his authorities. President Obama has the authority. End quote. Well, the one big problem with that. Not only did the Democrats try to impeach Bush, Ms. Sheila Jackson Lee was one of 10 others, Democrats, who co-sponsored the impeachment bill. So she puts her names on things that she doesn't realize she's putting her name on, I guess. That's a real good representative. Doesn't even read the bills that she's putting her name on. So that's, and if, all right, I can see where you forget about that. During MSNBC, she loves to go on MSNBC, July 10th, 2014, during a massive Mexican border crisis, she decided to state, and I quote, I disagree that our border is in a devastating condition. Well, it's more opinion-based. All right. If it was just that. Appearing on MSNBC the same day, she also made the comment that I have been on the border. I have been on the Rio Grande. I have been on the border at night. So she doesn't know websites. She doesn't know geography. She doesn't understand what a crisis is. July 3rd, 2014, 7 days before going on MSNBC, she was handing out lollipop to illegal aliens on the Texas border. And then, quote, this is not a national security crisis. So, people coming in, crossed our border. Yeah, I did notice that too, Cal. Cal just put in that CNN has an unfortunate habit of losing the satellite connection whenever there's a critic of CNN, or excuse me, a critic of Clinton on the air. So I'm not done with the Sheila Jackson Lee comments either. Do you want to go get some popcorn? Maybe a tea? Well, speaking on the House floor, rocket scientist Sheila Jackson Lee claimed the United States had operated under the Constitution since 1614. And I quote, maybe I should offer a good thanks to the distinguished members of the majority, the Republicans, my chairman, and others for giving us the opportunity to have a deliberate constitutional discussion that reinforces the sanctities of this nation and how well it is that we have lasted some 400 years operating under a constitution that clearly defines what is constitutional and what is not. That I'm starting to run out of a little leeway here with her, because that one was a doozy, and anybody who paid attention to school, hell, I didn't pay attention in the school, and I know it was signed in 1776, and that's 200 and some. She had a bad year in 2014 because that comment was from March 12, 2014. Now, on the House floor, she had an interesting question about the Malaysian Airline Flight 370 back in March of 2014. Oh boy, I'm getting sad, dizzy. I'm losing brain cells just from reading this. But, quote, why do we have the capacity to dismantle the transponders? Why wasn't the emergency call already in place that it automatically signals when an aircraft goes off its discerned or destination as related to its flight pattern? Why does it have to be done manually? And that wasn't me stuttering. That was quoting Miss Jackson Lee from March of 2014. And I'm not even done with Miss Jackson Lee. Speaking to fellow Democrats, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee seemed to think the goal of Democrats in Congress was to write executive orders for President Obama. I believe this caucus will put us on the right path and will give President Obama a number of executive orders that he can sign with pride and strength. Oh, come on. She's making it too easy here. She's just, did she not watch Schoolhouse Rock?
Woo. You sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building here in Washington. Well, I wonder who that sad little scrap of paper is.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well,
a bill, not an executive order.
Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. It's a long, long wait while I'm sitting in committee, but I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Gee, Bill, you certainly have a lot of patience and courage.
Well, I got this far. When I started, I wasn't even a bill. I was just an idea. Some folks back home decided they wanted a law passed, so they called their local congressman, and he said, "You're right, there ought to be a law." Then he sat down and wrote me out and introduced me to Congress, and I became a bill. And I'll remain a bill until they decide to make me a law. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I got as far as Capitol Hill. Well, now I'm stuck in committee, and I'll sit here and wait while a few key congressmen discuss and debate whether they should let me be a law. I hope and pray that they will. But today I am still just a bill.
So, real quick, we're also going to throw in the quote of Miss Sheila Jackson Lee. In fact, I think that should be our number one agenda. Let's write up these executive orders, draft them, of course, and ask the president to stand with us on full employment.
Listen to those congressmen arguing. Is all that discussion and debate about you?
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. Most bills never even get this far. I hope they decide to report on me favorably, otherwise I may die.
Die?
Yeah, die in committee. Oh, but it looks like I'm going to live. Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
If they vote yes, what happens?
Then I go to the Senate and the whole thing starts all over again.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And if they vote for me on Capitol Hill, well, then I'm off to the White House where I'll wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign. And if he signs me, then I'll be a law. I hope and pray that he will. But today I am still just a bill.
You mean even if the whole Congress says you should be a law, the president can still say no?
Yes, that's called a veto. If the president vetoes me, I have to go back to Congress and they vote on me again, and by that time you're so
By
old.
that time, it's very unlikely that you become a law. It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
He signed your bill. Now you're a law.
Oh, yes.
But wait, we're not done. We have the Obama version.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Boy, you really have to climb a lot of steps to get to this Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Say, what's that piece of paper doing here?
Oh, you mean me? I tell you who I am. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. But I know I'll be a law someday. At least I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
Cool. What kind of bill are you?
Why, I'm an immigration bill. And one day the Republicans might create me so I could become a law.
And how does a bill become a law?
Funny you should ask. Well, first I go to the House and they vote on me. But then I need from the Senate a majority. And if I pass the legislative test, then I wind up on the president's desk. And I say, oh, my sweet, would you whip it? My legs. They were made of paper.
President Obama, what's the big idea? That bill was trying to become a law.
I realize that. But you know, son, there was actually an even easier way to get things done around here. It's called an executive order.
I'm an executive order, and I pretty
much just happened.
The American way. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising Radio, YouTube, Speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, at Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. And I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. That's REAVER.ONE/SHOP. So, where are we? The next one. Again, speaking from the House floor, and 2014 was not Sheila Jackson Lee's year. She made a comment that suggested welfare be rebranded as a living fund. Quote, maybe the word welfare should be changed to something of a transitional living fund, for that is what it is for people to be able to live. So they're trying to soften up words again to take away any negative connotations, any demeaning type words you can't have when it comes to Democrats. Now we're going to go back to December of 2013. Miss Sheila Jackson Lee took to the House floor and confused people, demanding unemployment insurance payments for the employed. Let us vote to provide for unemployment insurance for working men and women so that faces across America will not have the tear of desperation on their faces. I think her whole process is to confuse everybody. It's one of those, let's confuse, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, dazzle them with bullshit. I think that's what she's trying to do. So, then she went on. This is very confused. Sheila Jackson Lee took to the House floor and stated that the continuing resolution situation was martial law. We have, quote, we have martial law. What that means, and my colleagues know what it means, is that you can put a bill on in just minutes. She then went on to talk about, hopefully people remember, back in 2013, some woman, I forget everything, but she kind of went on a little car chase with the police through Washington, D.C., and ended up getting shot and killed. Well, she implied that the crazy woman who went on a car chase in Washington in an expensive car was poor and perhaps suffering due to the shutdown. Quote, and God knows the tragedy of this poor person that came on the hill in a black car. No one knows what drive this person to do this, but what I would say to you is, let's get our wheels back on. Serve the American people, bring them back, vote for a bill today that will open the government. Let me see something. This one I'm going to have to get an audio clip. I'm just... Well, I could say this. Thank God for politician like Miss Sheila Jackson Lee. Because she makes my job even easier. Holy shit, does she make my job easy. I'm going to get the audio on this one, because this one's going to be a little fun. All right, here it is. I don't know how good the audio is going to be, but we'll see. Appearing on Shepard Smith's Studio B while promoting the president's attempt to attacking Syria, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee pronounced the word, you'll see.
With us now, the Democratic Congresswoman from Texas, Sheila Jackson Lee. Representative Jackson Lee is a member of the House Homeland Security Committee. A Republican will join us shortly for the same amount of time. Representative Jackson Lee, what do you make of all of this that has just gone down?
Well, what I make of it is that what we're trying to bring about is peace. Peace is not a pretty picture when you have to put it together by so many disparate positions and leaders. The other thing that I would offer is that we should not ever step away from the fact that 1,400 persons, conspicuously and obviously, were tragically gassed, many of them children, and it was a vile and violent scene. And so Syria's resolution is more difficult than it might seem. And I think that where we try to give credit or try to suggest that Russia now has the only answer, we make a mistake. This has to be solved by the international family. And what the president was doing, as he expressed from his heart, is to respond to the tragedy and the heinousness of gassing children and using chemical weapons.
Heinous? You mean heinous? I can understand. Okay. She misspoke. I can understand that. But the evidence is overwhelming of, holy shit, what the hell is Texas thinking voting her in? And then this one of, again, speaking on the House floor.
I thank the Speaker very much, and I ask unanimous consent that members may have 5 days to submit statements into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Speaker, thank you so very much for the opportunity to discuss with my colleagues pending actions in the United States Congress and a plea for civility and fairness. As I do that, let me acknowledge Equal Pay Day and support, as I've done over the years.
All right, as she goes over all this, I don't have time for this. I don't have the patience. As much as I'd like to let her speak for herself. She goes on to defend gangs members committing crimes with guns, and quote, don't condemn the gangbangers. They've got guns that are trafficked, that are not enforced, that are straw purchased, and they come into places even that have strong gun laws. Why? Because we don't have sensible gun legislation. So the sentence before, that are straw purchased, and they come into places even that have strong gun laws. Why? Because we don't have sensible gun. Oh, my God. That one gave me a headache. Oh. Let's see if I can find the audio for this one. This one will be. Oh, come on. No. Oh, no. There's no audio. So, I get the joy of telling you that she was speaking on the House floor again. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee claimed she was once a slave. I stand here as a freed slave because this Congress came together. Really? Oh, and the tolerance out of Democrat Representative Sheila Jackson Lee demanded 18-hour days out of staffer Mona Floyd, refused to accommodate her visual disability and made critical remarks about her when speaking to other employees, and is quoted as saying, "I don't give a damn about her disability." She also had Mona Floyd forced her to read items that the congresswoman could not be bothered to read, and then stated to a woman who had a visual disability it should not take 10 years to get them done because she refused to read these documents herself. She is also quoted through, all these were done, came out because of a lawsuit filed against her. She also told Miss Mona Floyd, "I don't care anything about your disability." Okay. This one I do have audio for this new one. I think so. Yeah. But I also want to tell you a little bit about what she had to say. And she wanted to talk about the Vietnam War and how two separate Vietnams apparently still exist in peace. We have two Vietnams side by side, North and South, exchanging and working. We may not agree with all North Vietnam is doing, but they are living in peace. Come on. It's here.
I want to say to my colleagues that I stand here asking us to do what we did not do in Vietnam, was to recognize the valiant and outstanding service of our men and women, and to understand victory had been achieved. Today we have two Vietnams, side by side, North and South, exchanging and working. We may not agree with all that North Vietnam is doing, but they are living in peace. I would look for a better human rights record for North Vietnam, but they're living side by side because that was a civil war. And because the leadership of this nation did not listen to the mothers and fathers who borne the burden of 58,000 dead and did not declare victory, the mounting death, the violence continued going up and up. Rather than understanding the political nature of the war in Vietnam, we did not listen to those families.
Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? Now, going back further. Woo. After ordering her driver to literally park at the front door of the U.S. Treasury against Secret Service orders and then demanding her driver to not pull over for pursuing Secret Service officer, her driver finally pulled over against her wishes. She then confronted Secret Service of, "I am Congressman Sheila Jackson Lee. Who do you think you are?" She is also has gone after Capitol Office Executive Assistant and Event Scheduler. Jesus, that's a long title. And it is claimed that Miss Jackson Lee was pissed when she found out someone was given a chauffeur to a Selma March anniversary while she wasn't given one, and quote, "You don't understand. I am a queen and I demand to be treated like a queen." But our Constitution does not. Yeah, she really is dumb as a bag of hammers, Kel, and it's holy shit. So this is why I wanted to go over these, because it's not just one incident of a slip of a tongue. It's time and time and time and time and time again. Now we're going back to 1998. she went off on a former staffer and caused a scene when she found out a meal she wanted wasn't available on the type of flight she was on. And she seems to be known for saying this. Do you know who I am? I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Where is my seafood meal? I know it was ordered. Sorry, that was me banging my head against the wall. Now, she is known for using very colorful language directed at her employees, which I thought Democrats were against. They were against that type of stuff. But it seems that she's allowed to do it, as she called one, "You stupid motherfucker." And then she had an interesting response when a staffer requested to meet with her. What? What did you say to me? Who are you, the Congresswoman? You haven't been elected. You don't set up meetings with me. I tell you, you know what? You are the most unprofessional person I have ever met in my life. And then her common line when a staffer asks her, God forbid they ask her to do something, the Queen gets asked to do something, she will respond with, what am I, a prostitute? Am I your prostitute? You can't prostitute me. Yeah, because I'd be broke as hell. It's, oh my God. And this isn't just, these are the people that we are electing because they go up there and they give good written speeches. That's what scares me. This isn't a right-left. This is holy shit, people. This is who the fuck we're electing into office. That scares the crap out of me. This is who we're electing, people. Just because someone gives a good speech, and that's all these elections are. These elections aren't about who's best for the job. It's about popularity contests. It's about who can bullshit more than the other person can. It's scary. Well, that's going to be that. I did more than I thought I was going to do on her. So the New York Times endorsed Hillary Clinton. We all remember that. Now they wrote a piece, The Dangers of Hillary Clinton. This past week on an editorial page, they wrote about how Hillary Clinton is dangerous because of her establishmentarian type of folly. The dangers of Hillary Clinton presidency are more familiar than Trump's authoritarian unknowns because we live with them in our politics already. They are the dangers of elite groupthink, of beltway power worship, of a cult of presidential action in the service of dubious ideas. They are the dangers of a reckless and radicalism that doesn't recognize itself as either, because it's convinced that an idea is mainstream and commonplace among the great and good, then it cannot possibly be folly. Almost every crisis that has come upon the West in the last 15 years has its roots in this establishmentarian type of folly. The Iraq War, which liberals preferred to remember as a conflict conjured by neoconservative cabals, was actually the work of a bipartisan interventionist consensus, pushed hard by George W. Bush, but embraced as well by a large slice of center-left opinion that included Tony Blair and more than half of Senate Democrats. Likewise, the financial crisis, whether you blame financial services, deregulations, or happy-go-lucky housing policy, or both, The policies that helped inflate and pop the bubble were embraced by both wings of the political establishment. Likewise with the euro, the European common currency, a terrible idea that only cranks and little Englanders dared oppose until the Great Recession exploded it as a potential economy-sinking folly. Likewise with Angela Merkel's grand and reckless open borders gesture just last year. She was the heroine of 1,000 profiles, even as she delivered her continent to polarization and violence. This record of elite folly, which doesn't even include lesser case studies like our splendid little war in Libya, is a big part of why the United States has let's try crazy candidate in this election, and why there are so many Trumpian parties thriving on European soils. Now remember, your New York Times has endorsed Hillary Clinton. And it sounded like very similar to a Clinton campaign literature. And you know it's bad for Hillary when she's running commercials with Oprah Winfrey, saying that she did not agree broadly with Clinton and how you don't have to like her to vote for her. And that's a big theme. You don't have to like her to vote for her. You don't have to like her. Well, you can say the same thing about Trump. No. That's different. But let's see. And I got into it again on World of Warcraft last night. It's scary how it's turning political in there, because I honestly believe, and I've heard some rumblings, that we know there's paid trolls, but that they were making sure that the paid trolls went into these games to make sure to try to get the quote-unquote millennial vote. And the worst part was this one was claiming to be some felon. She committed 2 felonies, and Brandy Tillman or something like that. She was claiming to be. I don't know who even Brandy Tillman is. And she's sitting there bragging, but it was funny. She's sitting there running her mouth, attacking Trump, vile and disgustingly. I mean, she was going after Trump. But then, when a bunch of us turned on her and started going at her, you guys are mean. I mean, she's sitting there going on, trying to convince us she's this person. I've done 2 felonies. And that was why you should vote for Hillary, because felonies don't matter. She got people murdered, doesn't matter. But Trump says mean things, that matters. As this woman was being vile and disgusting. It's just... holy for holies. That's all I can say. At least in this discussion, I did not get called a racist. That surprised me. And with that, it's time for a break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Networks, Red Nation Rising Radio, YouTube Speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show and support SHR Media, go to reaver.one/shop. So, I had to get a good laugh this weekend. I did. And, of course, I'm going to tell you why I laughed and had a good laugh. Donald Trump was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and he was giving a speech. And once you know it, he used the words, wait for it, for the people, by the people, we the people. Oh my God, he's ripping off the Gettysburg Address. How dare he? For number one, he's talking also about in our Constitution, we the people, Declaration of all of our founding documents, we the people. How dare he talk as a president about we the people? He was in Gettysburg. So, of course, he's going to take excerpts from the Gettysburg Address. I think I just had a tongue twister of my own. It just boggles my mind. The little things that they have to attack on. Because that's all they have is little things. And no, don't come at me with a new sexual. Someone's come up and accused Trump of sexual assault. A porn star is upset and accusing Trump of sexually. I didn't even see whether it was an actual assault or just he made advances towards her. And either which way, it brings to mind, where is it? She met Trump 10 years ago at a golf tournament in Lake Tahoe, California. Trump tried to sleep with her. Trump tried to sleep with a porn star. Probably made some jokes. Now she's all, excuse the pun, butthurt. But what really makes me go bullshit on this one, so the day before she comes out and goes public with an accusation, she opens a store that sells adult videos, toys, and sexual equipment. Now, there's no problem with that. But it seems the timing is really funny that she goes and opens this store the day before she's going to hit national news. Does anybody see where that is a big red flag? I don't know why they're bringing the... And then she was asked, was she contacted by anybody to come forward? She can remember every detail of the event from God knows how many years ago, but she can't remember recently if somebody contacted her to come forward. Yeah. It's now coming out. Robbie Mook, the campaign manager, I think he is, for Hillary Clinton. He couldn't remember or didn't know, stammered and stuttered when asked if the Clinton campaign contacted any of these women prior to them going public. They're not even denying they're being a part of these setting up these accusations. They're not even denying the accusations in the Project Veritas. You know, they try to, well, it's heavily edited and the sun is in the wrong direction. Oh, speaking of Project Veritas, they are supposed to be releasing an email. Yeah, So they're blaming Russia for these hacks, but it's kind of funny because the emails passwords are being emailed to the people because they think there might be an issue and compromised of their passwords, so they email the passwords, which makes about as much sense as a bag of bricks going for a swim. And when you start looking password Hillary, password, password is basically P. I can't see what the symbol is. SSW capital ORD. Stupidest, easy. Some of this is some of the first things hackers are going to try. They're not that smart. All right. Part 3 is going up on YouTube. It'll be live in 10 minutes. As soon as it goes live, we are going to play it live. Where I'm going to be listening to it the first time with everybody else. It's let me tell you something, Democrats. So listen up very good. I don't care if this was happening to Republicans, I would be saying the same thing against Republicans. I wasn't on air, but I never spoke negatively about WikiLeaks when it was about the Republicans. The documents were coming out leaked. I mean, I was sitting there shaking my head going, damn, this is bad for them. This is bad for them. And I wasn't a registered Republican. I was independent. But I still... It's not a simple answer. But I was not a quote-unquote Republican. May not have been a Democrat at that time either, but... So, okay, that was weird. So my floors are concrete. And I just turned and looked at the TV, which is on a filing cabinet, like one of those 3-foot, 2-drawer filing cabinet. And the TV was shaking, which is really weird. I can't make it move without actually touching the filing cabinet. So I didn't touch it, but shit was sitting there shaking. So I'm going to keep an eye out for this video, by the way. Then I'm also debating, do I go out and do early voting or wait to November 8th? I get nervous about the early voting. It makes me really nervous. All right, we got a little new video from Project Veritas. Let's play it. It's not the big part 3, but...
So we have an hour to go before the new video goes up. A lot of people have said release more footage, release full footage. I just have to say, be careful what you wish for.
All right, we're going to take an early break so that we can play this in its entirety without interruption. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising Radio, YouTube Speaker, and iTunes. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. And we also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date on everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Josie Joe, and I'm making sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeovers here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to support the show, just go to thereaver.1/shop. So, one thing I want, no matter what, Project Veritas has helped majorly with one thing. There is a gentleman who is, how old is he? 73 years old. He was at a Trump rally. He has since been charged and arrested with assault of an elderly woman, a 69-year-old Shirley Teeter. It is said that those two were exchanging words and that he turned around and just punched her square in the face, dropping the elderly lady. Well, issues. For some reason, YouTube is not uploading the video. Surprise, surprise. But let's go back. So with the exposing of these videos and she was brought up as one of the operatives, the woman is now backtracking on her claim that she was assaulted. She originally told Harris, told a local ABC News affiliate, he stopped in his track and he turned around and just cold-cocked me. She also added a pointed rhetoric question, namely whether people find a Trump supporter punching her in the face deplorable. Now, she is changing her story after it's come out. It has come out that these people, and namely she was coached on how to, and it was specifically brought out how she was coached. And now she's saying, well, yeah, he could have just accidentally bumped into me. I don't think he actually assaulted me. Now she's changing her story, and I wasn't coached. I don't know any of these groups, even though that she was specifically pointed out in these groups, by these groups. And there's supposedly video now of the incident also that shows that it shows Mr. Camel was walking along when this woman touched him on the shoulder, and he turned around after being touched to find Shirley Teeter just dropping to the ground. There was no signs of visible injury on her face in any of the photographs or interviews that followed. There's no proof that this man actually hit this woman. And a person at the age of 69, if you get punched in the face, your capillaries and all that are weakened and break very easily and bruise. So there would have been some kind of mark on her face had she been punched in the face. But again, this was exposed by Project Veritas, that this woman was coached. She was placed there to do this, even though I had nothing, I don't know what they're talking about. Nope. But now she's changing her story. Pretty, convenient, isn't it? Hold on, I'm going to throw a commercial on just for a minute. We'll be right back in not even 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
And we're back. Sorry about that. Had to take care of something real quick. And James O'Keefe, I got to give a shout out. He is a Rutgers alumni. Rutgers put out something really good besides my father-in-law. Seems that they're stuck in YouTube hell right now. If not, we'll be playing it tomorrow when I have a very, very special guest, Kel. That's going to be tough. That's one I can't figure it out still on my system. How I play a clip to get my caller to hear it at the same time I'm playing it. Because when I play it right now, who's ever on the phone calling in cannot hear what I'm playing, which is really weird. I'm going to have to play with that today, I think. Try to put that. Write self-note. Note to self. Trying to put it where I'll definitely see this note. I've written notes and set them off to the side, and they're out of view. And then a couple days later, shit, I was supposed to do that. I wrote myself a note. I just couldn't see it. All right, we're going to get on with some stuff until I can find. Seems that YouTube is really trying to do everything. I mean, they shut down the videos at one point. They suspended the videos and wouldn't allow it to play, and then there was some backlash, and amazingly, they popped back up. Oh, there's a new video out, by the way, that shows Hillary Clinton. She's being questioned by reporters on her plane. And as she's being questioned, you can see one of her handlers typing stuff out on either his big-ass phone and or little tablet and puts it right in front of the reporter, which gets acknowledged. And then all of a sudden, that reporter gets the next question. And then you see him typing on his phone again. And you can see him trying to get the attention of a reporter and pointing towards the phone. She gets her questions. She comes up with the questions. Well, her handlers make up the questions. Give it to the reporters. That's how the questions come about. So she already knows the answers to them. She's already been coached. She's not getting actual reporter. And this is what's making me sick, is reporters are not being reporters. They're being little bitches. I mean, they're just being monkeys. They're being told what to ask, when to ask, how to ask it. They have to ask permission. This is the people who once held politicians to a standard, have now become part of the inner groups. It's just, oh my God. I mean, it's mind-numbing at times. I just... It makes me sad for humanity when I see this. It's scary. And what scares me is some of the people that are coming out for Hillary. Holy for holies. Come on, Project Veritas. And this is what I wanted to play, too, before I forgot about it, basically. Here.
Group of pro-Clinton political operatives talking about stirring up trouble and provoking violence at Trump rallies. The video comes from Project Veritas brainchild James O'Keefe, who's got a less than stellar reputation for accuracy. However, some of the things you'll hear on the tape are certainly hard to ignore. Enough we're learning for one person to be fired so far, another to resign. A lot of questions being...
My question is, well, they're questioning his accuracy. He's been actually very accurate. They've tried to discredit him with no avail. They've tried to silence him with legal action, which ended up falling flat on its face. So he's been pretty accurate, just they don't like it.
Asked about the recording, senior investigative correspondent Drew Griffin tonight has the story.
The undercover videos produced by discredited conservative activist James O'Keefe suggest it was Democratic operatives hired.
I love how they keep discredited. He was never discredited. They keep saying that doesn't make it true. I can say that I'm a millionaire all I want does not make it true. Come on, people. It's does not make it true. But even CNN Anderson, not Jake Anderson, but Anderson is admitting this is pretty damning. Now, I'm just, oh my God. It really is scary. So just saying that he was discredited doesn't mean he was actually discredited, people. Research. Investigate. Facebook employees tried to get Trump's Facebook stuff removed because they call it hate speech. Anything that's against them is hate speech. Their feelings are hurt. Someone disagreed with their pussy-ass feelings. Oh, no, I said the word pussy. Oh, God. Can the world forgive me? I'm sorry. I said such vile things. I said pussy, and I shouldn't have said the word pussy. Oh, Jesus Christ. But seriously, they wanted it removed. They wanted to censor under the guise of hate speech. Just because they disagree with what he has to say. And that's what it comes down to. Is they disagree, so they label it hate speech. So that those opinions must be removed. And I'm thinking, shit, how is Zuckerberg going to get around this to actually do it? And he actually shut them down. They were threatening to quit. And he shut them down. But don't forget, just recently, he was exposed in these emails and videos as trying to work with Hillary Clinton. He got exposed that he's been pretty one-sided. And they're trying to say that a post in question related to Donald Trump's comments about a proposed ban on Muslim immigration to the U.S. And they say that it violated the site's community standard. They got sand in their pussy. You know, I'm purposely saying that now just because they say we're not supposed to say it. I get so confused. I thought it was we couldn't say the can't understand normal thinking or see you next Tuesday, whichever analogy or whatever you want to call it. I thought we couldn't say that one. But now we can't say pussy either? What, next I can't say dick? What if the guy's name is Dick? What if I'm talking about a pussy willow? Yeah. It just... all this reminds me of from the Howard Stern movie. We got an update. Let's see where we're at. All right. Here it is. Uploaded. This is the new Veritas.
We talk about that. We have to clear this with DNC. With Democratic National Committee. We have to clear which message we're going to be targeting at each event.
In the end, it was the candidate, Hillary Clinton, the future president of the United States, who wanted ducks on the ground. So by God, we will give ducks on the ground.
So it's... Wow.
Don't repeat that statement. Don't repeat that statement.
I think this duck is going to get roughed up somewhere.
I almost got punched on Monday morning. I mean, I was in a duck costume.
If the future president of the United States wants ducks on the ground, we will put ducks on the ground.
This is part 3 of our undercover investigation into the dark, backroom dealings of the Hillary Clinton campaign. In this story, we'll show an illegal dark money conspiracy between the Hillary Clinton campaign, the DNC, and the non-for-profit corporation Americans United for Change. And it's all disguised as a duck.
So I'm basically Deputy Rapid Response Director for the DNC for all things Trump on the ground. Nobody's really supposed to know about me.
You know, Brad and Bob and Lux and myself are all part of the old school method where it doesn't matter what the freaking legal and ethics people say. We need to win this motherfucker.
So Bob is really good friends with him, and talked to him this afternoon. And they're all in. If we can get $25,000, they're all in.
It was earlier this year when people in Donald Duck costumes started showing up at Trump events across the country. It turns out the duck was Hillary's idea.
Tomorrow we start this initiative on the tax returns.
Right.
So, tomorrow morning at Trump Tower, I hope we can arrange it so it goes down the escalator. we will launch Donald Ducks. A guy in a Donald Duck costume with a sign that says Donald Duck's releasing his tax returns.
Robert Creamer runs Democracy Partners. It's a political consulting company based in Washington, D.C., with deep ties to Hillary Clinton, the Democratic National Committee, and Obama's White House. In fact, White House logs document that Creamer visited the White House 342 times and met directly with Obama 47 times.
In the end, that is adapted to the Donald Duck's debates, Donald Duck's whatever else he does. But we're going to have this mental. We're going to have Donald Ducks. And the real problem turns out that it's not easy to find Donald Duck costumes for adults, as you might imagine. 5-year-olds, plenty of them. But the other ones are mascots.
We did Donald Ducks in May.
Brad Woodhouse is president of Americans United for Change. After our first video, Woodhouse fired Scott Fovel, his national field director.
We put out a whole blast and a release around the idea that he was, using his name. Right. That there was no taxes at that point because this thing's come up repeatedly. And the key here is to have the visual and to have the costume and have the signs. We got so much shit for that blast that reporters thought it was silly and I do think they're probably still being shot. The reporters probably still think it's silly. But you know what? We ain't talking to reporters.
They're covering it.
We're talking to voters.
Actually, the response to the reporters this morning was they loved it. Originally, we were going to do a project. We were going to do Uncle Sam, I Want You, give us your tax returns. I agree it's not as good.
Been done, yeah. I
agree it's not as good. It's much easier to execute. The guy who had done this other Chicken George thing had this other idea, and in the end, it was the candidate, Hillary Clinton, the future president of the United States, who wanted ducks on the ground. So, by God, we will give ducks on the ground.
So it's... Wow.
Don't repeat that thing.
Okay.
And it is a clever, it's a better idea.
Originally, this guy Sklar, who was did Chicken George in 1992, came to Lux and I with the idea of Donald Ducks. And I ran it up the flagpole in New York and and then he came up, they just said, we'd rather do what do you call it? Uncle Sam. I want you to release your tax returns. And God loves Uncle Sam suits are easy to find for adults. But then I get a call, actually, on the plane about to go to London last week. Christina Reynolds calls and says, I've got good news and bad news. Good news is the candidate would like to have a mascot following around following around the candidate, Trump. But the bad news is she wants it to be Donald Duck. And that's because Sklar is an old Clinton hand. And he had gone to some buddy of his who's one of her body people, and she had explained the idea to Hillary, and Hillary just loved it.
Okay, let me tell you something. I think she has the right instinct here. Totally. This thing is working right. It's resonating, but that story is not exactly what you want to hear about how presidential decision-making happens.
So my answer to Christina was, if the future president of the United States wants ducks on the ground, we will put ducks on the ground.
Hillary Clinton and the DNC wanted the Donald Ducks at Trump and Pence events. The direct involvement of the campaign and the Democratic National Committee with Americans United for Change and Donald Ducks smacks of illegal, coordinated campaign expenditures. Federal campaign law experts have told us, quote, the ducks on the ground are likely public communications for purposes of the law. It's political activity opposing Trump, paid for by Americans United for Change funds, but controlled by Clinton and her campaign, unquote. Representatives of Hillary's campaign were on daily conference calls we witnessed with Creamer, AUFC managers, and their operatives. They were talking about where to send the ducks and the ducks message. And not just the campaign. Donna Brazil's Democratic National Committee was in on it as well.
So the operation is to insert and get the duck message in there, if we can, or the extremist message, depending on, we have to clear this with DNC. Extremist? With Democratic National Committee. We have to clear which which message we're going to be targeting at each event, but they can insert into multiple events through the end of the election on a continual basis, on a daily basis. They'll basically do a chase all the way across the country. Now, the duck stuff, we got him waiting with it. For the aggressive bird dogging, I want to make sure I stay on track here. For the aggressive bird dogging, we want to do from the line before the events, where we're plastering the outside with the Trump duck message, and then going into the events, everybody has their phones. We insert like 20 people, 20 to 30 people into the events, where they all have their phones set to go off at the exact same time on an alarm with the duck call on the inside of the events all at once from all over the event.
So they'll catch like the incident going down, or
so we want the media to notice the duck calls, right? So we have everybody load a ringtone on their phone that at all times go off at the exact same time.
We just ordered 1,000 rubber duckies with Donald Ducks written on them to hand out to people in the press.
That's a cool idea. That is a cool idea.
We got to order a bunch of Donald Duck hats so we can put people behind them at various events, where they speak. You get the drift? I'm trying to we'll probably set up a mini website.
Right?
It's got to be Donald Ducks.
It's got to look like Donald Ducks.
Like Donald.
Do they license the suits and put?
So that's why it's expensive to buy or rent them, because they're licensed.
You're not going to run into a Disney problem, right? With a copyright issue or?
Let them sue us, please, God.
Oh my God, that is awesome, right? Because you're going to get.
I doubt that they will, because we're paying the rent or buy the suits. That's where they get their license fee. We're not using it for commercial purposes.
And the DNC didn't just help place Donald Duck at protests; they were in charge of it.
Yeah.
The whole duck thing that came about. The reason we moved it from DNC to AUFC was to just do a hopscotch. But the actual idea was hatched way back in May.
So our journalist asked Creamer why there was a problem with the DNC taking credit for the duck.
The duck has to be an Americans United for Change entity. This had to do only with some problem between Donna Brazil and ABC, which is owned by Disney, because they were worried about a trademark issue. That's why.
Oh, okay.
It's really silly. Oh, yeah. Because they go to New York. New York doesn't care about any of that shit.
Okay. So it's just like a trademark issue with.
This it. Yeah, we originally launched this duck because Hillary Clinton wants the duck. In any case, so she really wanted this duck figure out there doing this stuff, so that was fine. So we put all these ducks out there and got a lot of coverage. And, the duck thing, Trump taxes. And then ABC, they say, Disney went crazy because they thought our original slogan was Donald Ducks his tax paying, releasing his tax returns. They said it was a trademark. It's not. But anyway, Donna Brazil had a kind of a connection with it. She wanted to get sued, So we switched the ownership of the duck to Americans United for Change, which, and now our signs say Trump Ducks releasing his tax returns. And we had any more trouble.
On August the 18th, the Wall Street Journal wrote that Donald Ducks was the creation of the Democratic National Committee. Then on September 8th, the Journal reported that the DNC cut ties with the duck. Quote, the DNC is no longer associated with the duck. Americans United for Change is now managing the duck, a consultant for the liberal activist group told the Wall Street Journal, unquote. But behind the scenes, the DNC and the Hillary Clinton campaign was still running the show, breaking federal campaign coordination laws.
Kind of divvy up responsibility, so sometimes it'll be like campaign owned, so like sometimes you'll see like that they advise something or they're taking credit for things, so like we're not taking credit for the duck anymore. That's like random ally groups, but it's still something that we're involved in. But why aren't you taking credit? Just because there were issues. There were, like, it's a whole long story. I asked Bob about it.
Intra-party politics.
But,
okay.
No, it wasn't intra-party politics, but we just have to be careful about these things, and like, we talk about them, and we knew about certain things, but you guys are, I trust it. It'll all be fine.
Creamer and Fovel even expected there to be violence following the duck, and it sounded like they wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
Have you?
Plastic duck.
You're gonna have these ducks at some of his rallies, right?
Sure. Every rally.
Yeah. So are you
enough people with him to
protect the duck? Because I gotta tell you, I think this duck is gonna get roughed up somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
Someone's going to rip his costume off.
It may happen at the Iowa State Fair this week.
Yeah.
Because Pence is there and the duck is planning to follow him around.
It's about intent.
Not the duck itself.
No.
Okay. Because that's the only.
It's not a reaction to the duck call and the signs.
Okay.
Because once they pull out these signs, Trump supporters literally start throwing punches at people. I almost got punched on Monday morning. I mean,
did you?
I was in a duck costume.
Fovel didn't get punched, but last week he got fired. Robert Creamer resigned from Clinton campaign activities. It was after Watergate that Congress passed the Campaign Coordination Law. To prove a violation, 3 prongs are required: payment by someone else other than the candidate for election activity, conduct, a campaign being materially involved in shaping communications by third-party groups, and content, running electoral advocacy close to an election. The payment is complicated, but just the fact that Fovel, a paid employee of Americans United for Change, was the duck at some events constitutes payment by AUFC. Conduct, based on their own admission, the campaign, Creamer, their agent, and AUFC coordinated the duck activities. And finally, content. Donald Duck's is undeniably political content directed against one candidate for the sole purpose of helping another.
The connection between Creamer, President Obama, and Hillary Clinton is undeniable, as are the campaign law violations. If it looks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, and it walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. They broke the law. Last week, Hillary denied her connection to Creamer and AUFC. America, it's time you demand she tell the truth. And stay tuned, because there's more to come.
Where to even start with all that? Could you imagine if it was the Republican Party that did this? Holy shit. The media would be losing their heads nonstop about this. But it's the Democrat Party, so it'll get swept under the rug as discredited and heavily edited. This is not meant as a self-plug. But this is why you can't trust mainstream media. Because they are in bed with the political class. Mainstream media is not reporting the truth. Where pundits like myself, Sackhead Sean, Ken the Conservative, Kel, Dan the Man Butcher, everybody at HP Pundit, everybody at SHR Media, we're trying to report the truth, not help any political party. It's disheartening, disgusting. that we're allowing this to go on. We're allowing Hillary Clinton to walk all over the laws. We're allowing the Democrat Party to walk all over the laws that they pushed to put in. And they're the ones breaking them. It's kind of funny, the full circle where Hillary was kicked off of Watergate by Democrats for lying, ethical violations. How the Democrats pushed to have all these ethical laws put in and have to stop these super PACs from coordinating with the campaigns. To only have the Democrat Party now led by the unethical, criminal Hillary Clinton breaking those same laws that her party helped put in. Does anybody find that ironical? We gotta hold mainstream media feet to the fire, so to speak. We have to hold these politicians to the rules that are put in place. Hillary Clinton has broken the rules again. And yet the Democrat Party makes excuses for her breaking those rules. Time and time and time again. It's appalling what we have become as a country. We need to stand up and make our voice heard. We need to stand up and tell the political class we have had enough. And it's that time again. I want to thank everybody for listening, tuning in. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm humbled by it. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right here on, the channels, SHR Media, High Plains Pundit Radio, ICRN Network, Red Nation Rising Radio, YouTube, Spreaker, iTunes. And I think I'm missing one or two, and I can't think of them right now. But I will be back tomorrow. You can count on that. Have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.